Hey everyone, Cream right here. Today we have Jhenesis Ellerbe, who is a semi-pro soccer player for Tormenta FC that compete in the USLW. Genesis, I'm so excited to have you on. You're the first person from USLW that I have on today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
So can you take us back in time and just share how you got involved into the beautiful game?
Oh my gosh, honestly, it was so it was so long ago. I don't even remember, but I remember when I was younger, I was like any kid, you're playing like 20 different sports at once, and it was just like, you're having fun. It was nothing serious, but I think the sport that got me serious into knowing that I wanted to be a professional athlete was soccer. And that's the sport my parents definitely pushed me more in because they saw the most potential with soccer. So growing up, I kind of just, ended up putting those other sports to the side and focusing more on just playing that sport. And, I guess people like to say is, building my craft, in that sport specifically. So yeah, it was a long time ago, but
For
not
sure.
much I remember, but
So how did you know soccer was the sport that you wanted to pursue? Were you just having the most fun in it, or?
Yeah, I guess you can say that. When I started getting the trophies, the medals, when you start winning games, I think funny thing is when I was playing basketball, I played a whole season only scoring 1 point and it was a free throw. And I had the opportunity to get another point, but I only scored 1 point the entire season. And I was like, okay, you know what? Basketball is just not for me. I was a cheerleader at one point and I'm like, I don't want to be cheering for someone else playing the sport. I want someone to be cheering for me. So the moment I was on the field and you had those, your parents and your friends on the sideline cheering for you and you're actually scoring goals, producing something that was, fun. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And it wasn't just for the medals, but yes, the trophies and the medals, being able to, brag in front of my brothers because we were so competitive when we were younger. So being able to bring those home and be like, okay, look what I have.
Right.
That was definitely the peak for me. Like I was like, okay, I love this. I love doing this.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're in the best sport in the world. I mean, it's the beautiful game, so
Exactly.
can't complain. What position do you play?
Oh, what a question. Well, usually coaches see me more as a defensive player. So usually right back, center back, that's where you'll see me playing a lot. But college, high school level, not college, maybe high school level towards that, I was a wing back. I was on the wing a lot. The coach would play me central, maybe the nine, the striker position. And just after high school, I was like, you know what? I think I'm a defender. So went from forward to playing on the back line. And, my dream position is actually the 10. So maybe one day.
One day, I mean, maybe. I mean, I remember when I was playing, my programming was always right back and right wing. So,
Right.
do you think it'd be like a hard program to switch for you in your mind and physicality, just playing position wise, or do you think you'd be able to adapt easily?
Oh, I think I'm able to adapt. I think it just really also depends on your opponent, the kind of players you're going up against. And for me, I'm like, the way I prepare for that is, okay, am I going to be more defensive or am I going to be more offensive? What am I up against? What are the kind of things I do have to change when I'm in a situation like that? But I don't think it's too difficult. I think a lot of the position why on the wing, they're very similar. It's just whether or not you're more defensive minded or offensive minded. So it hasn't been too difficult for me, but I can understand how it can be.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, I mean, that's great confidence that you have to be able to want to do that and to be able to do that. So that's amazing. With saying that, did you end up, you know, going to college or university?
Yes, right now I'm currently at Young Harris College. So the coach, I was being coached by Rob King when I was 11, and he was actually the KSU women's coach for a while, actually won a national championship there. And he came to Young Harris to kind of rebuild this program here. And they just got put into the NCAA D2 Peach Belt Conference. So it was a tough conference with Columbus, Flaglers, North Georgia's, top D2 teams. And so I was like, okay, I want to go to college and this is a good way to start. I wasn't the best player at this time. So I'm like, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity for me to grow. So I decided to come to Young Harris College. And I mean, it's, it's been ups and downs, but obviously I'm still here for a reason. So I think I made a good decision about coming to college and playing on this level.
Absolutely. So how does that work? Like, are you able to play college and USLW, or how does that
So
work?
it's like you know how the men's have USL. So you work with USL and it's just like the summer league kind of thing. So it's like for us, it's just a summer league. And you can't sign any professional contract because you're under NCAA. So you can't get paid or have that because, we're under NCAA, but it's just kind of like preparing us for the next level. So, if, for instance, we had a couple girls from my team that were just graduating college and then went straight to Tormenta and then signed professionally right after Tormenta.
Got
And
it.
that's
Okay.
when you can sign your contract because obviously NCAA is not allowing you to do so. But it's kind of like that. It's preparing you for the next level. And if you're not going pro after that, it's preparing you for your college season. So it's huge. It's a major thing. And it was similar to, I don't know if you're familiar, I think it was WPSL. It was the women's league before USLW came along. And it just wasn't as intense or high level as USLW is in professional. So it definitely is something different, but it's helped me tremendously, like to prepare for college. Like, I can't explain that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you already mentioned that there's already a pathway to pro with the club that you're currently at, which is great to look up towards and work towards, which is great motivation. Like I remember, just like to drop a little piece here, like when I was growing up in Canada playing, we didn't have a professional league to look up to.
Right.
It was kind of demotivating because we had to go outside of the country to get a professional opportunity. But now, in 2019, we have the CPO. So, and I know with the women's game is growing within the US too now. So it's amazing to see, and I'm pretty sure, for other young footballers growing up are more excited now because there's more
Oh,
opportunity.
it's huge. It's huge.
Was saying that, what advice would you give to the next generation of females growing up right now that want to go to college, that want to play in USLW? What advice would you give to them?
I mean, it may sound cliche, but seriously, like just keep pushing. Because at the end of the day, I didn't even think I was going to be in the position I was this summer. I remember telling my friends before we knew what team we were going to be put on for USLW this summer, I remember telling them, I don't think I'll make the top team. I don't think I'll be able to get on Tormenta, but you work hard, you send in your highlights, and you get what you get. And for me, it's like it opened my eyes to the opportunities that the door is never closed. There, it's never closed. So don't ever think that, okay, just because I didn't get on this team, it's done for me. Just keep pushing and working towards your goal because, there are so many things opening for the for women's soccer and for opportunities for all of us to, kind of prove ourselves and, go to the next level. So don't give up. And just because it seems far out of your reach, don't give up. And I think the biggest thing that USLW showed me is even if you fall short of your goal, there are going to be people behind you picking you back up, and motivating you to just keep on pushing. So don't feel like you're alone either in this journey because you're not. Even if you don't have a supportive family or, peers behind you, you have your soccer family behind you, pushing you, your teammates, your coaches, the staff at Tormenta, for example, making sure that you are performing to the best of your abilities on and off the pitch. So
100%. Yeah, great advice. You guys just recently won. Seen on Instagram. Congratulations to you and your team.
thank
Um,
you.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Who'd you guys play in the finals?
So we played Aurora in the finals, Minnesota Aurora, and we actually went to their place. We actually, let me not say that, all three of the playoff games we didn't host. So we traveled all three of the playoff games. So that was tough. But the final, oh my gosh, OMG, it was insane. I think it was like 6,000 fans, the
Wow.
most people I've ever played in front of. The stadium was full. It was the Minnesota Vikings practice field that we actually played the final on, and it was, sold out, everything. I mean, you couldn't hear anything other than the roar of fans, like, saying things, yelling at you. Of course, it's going to be like that, but it was just insane experience. I mean, I don't think I couldn't even focus the first 5 seconds. I'm like, it was crazy.
Wow.
So,
So, I love engaging into that, playing in front of fans is like completely different to when, let's just say there's like 100, 500
right.
fans. It's a completely different atmosphere. How are you able, you mentioned that for, a couple of seconds that you were out of it, but how did you get back into the game and tune them out and focus?
Well, I'm gonna have to be honest, it took me a while. I was walking during halftime, my head's down and I'm like, oh, that's not the player I am, but you're so distracted by all the outside factors. It was really hard to mentally check in and switch on, so what kept me going and being able to play at the level to get us like, to help us get a championship, it was, you know, the coaching staff, my teammates, and me telling myself, you don't get this opportunity every day. It's either you suck it up or it's out the window. So it's kind of just like focus, switch on. This is never happening again. You're going to college in a few more weeks, just do it. It was kind of just push through. And that was kind of how I switched back on, but also, seeing my teammates that were still like in the same environment that I am in the same situation that I am in, but playing their best. That I was like, okay, there's no way I'm going to be this low. Everyone else is like up here. I was like, I have to switch on.
For sure. You got to turn up. Um, I was saying that I'm just looking at the Instagram here. I see number 11. That I used to wear number 11 too back in Canada. That's like my favorite number.
Mine too.
Um, there's something I was going to ask you. You you said college is this your first year or
Oh no, I'm a senior. I'm going to be a senior in college. No, I am a senior.
your
This is
senior?
my first semester senior year.
Okay, got it. And when you say senior year, is that your third year in or fourth year?
So technically, because of everything with everything that happened with COVID, I'm a junior on the field. So they consider us juniors on the field. So I have a COVID year of eligibility, which I'm not sure if I'm going to take, but I'm a senior in the classroom, junior on the field.
Okay, got it. Yeah. That's interesting. COVID kind of it was an interesting time. At least we're kind of I won't take us back there, but
Very interesting.
we're past that.
All right.
Um, and how'd you make your decision of the college that you went to? Was the thought process and the check boxes that you had to check off to say this is the school that I want to go to?
Right. So obviously, my coach had a major impact in that decision. I've known him since I was young. He's coached me before, and I knew the kind of standards that he held as a person,
Mm,
and even though I didn't play for him, I didn't play with him. Like he wasn't my coach for a while. I still knew that, he was going to at least encourage me to play, on a higher level. So he had a major impact in my decision, but also my family. We came up here and it's beautiful. It's Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's like
no.
beautiful mountains. I mean, it does get kind of cold here, but it's still, it's beautiful environment and I like peace and calm. I live in Atlanta, so it's like crazy all the time. And I like to just be able to relax, go to bed, wake up, the birds chirping in the mountains, kind of those vibes. So I was also like, okay. And then before I got here, the team actually went to the semifinals against one of the top teams in the conference, winning off PKs, and they got really far. So I was like, okay, not only is it a good environment, but the team is great. The players are great. They reached out to us before and was like, yeah, come here. It's a great environment. So definitely that as well. I mean, there were many factors in education, obviously. When you're so young, you don't really know what you want to do, but I had an idea. So now it's different. I'm like, oh, it doesn't have what I want to do now. But back then I was like, okay, I want to become a doctor. And they had everything I needed to, all the resources I needed to get there. So definitely all those as well.
Nice. What are you currently studying?
So I'm currently studying psychology
Nice. Yeah.
and I want to study the study of death, which is not really just, it's more broad than that, but
That's interesting. I mean, I won't ask. I'll ask you offline a bit after. I'm interested to know why. And then I want to kind of like dive into a little bit more. So like, do they have you guys on contracts, or how does that work with USLW? And how's the, if you're able to speak on it, how is the is it more so like, how's the contract structured? Is it just more so saying that you guys are like playing for this team and you guys are not able to play for any other team? Like, how does the contract look to, if you're able to speak on it?
Yeah, it's like I'm not really sure how to explain it, but the contract's basically like you're playing for this team. But if I decide to play for another summer league team, that's my, like if I'm like, okay, I don't want to play for Tormenta next year, I just don't sign a contract with Tormenta. I just sign my papers for MOBA, for example, and I go play for MOBA. So I'm not on like a 2-year kind of thing or one, it's just if I decide that, I don't want to play for this team anymore, I can do that. Obviously the coaches reach out to certain players and like, I want you to come back to my team next summer if you're able to. And we kind of go, when the time comes, we move on from there. But it's not as difficult as people might think it is to get on a USLW team.
Hmm. And what do you like about the league? And um, actually, yeah, I'll just keep it at that. What do you really like about the league?
I mean, I just love how involved they are. I mean, it's never a day you're not seeing them talking to you, asking questions, emailing you, just seeing how you're doing. And it's just like they're always involved with the teams and wanting to be engaged and not just in their own area and just saying, oh, see you on the finals. Like every single day we were in front of the cameras. We had like a social media team that, I mean, we had a men's pro team and the USL2 team for Tormenta there. So it was always like cameras, practice shots, and then you have them on the TikTok. They have the TikTok ready for you, asking questions. So it's very professional, and I like the way that they made sure that it was more of a professional vibe for the females, especially because we didn't have that before.
Yeah.
So it was definitely really professional. It was almost like, you were at the top level that you can possibly be at. So I love that about it.
Yeah, I love that they're doing that now. And I think it's just going to continue to grow. Um, and then I guess the last, leading towards like the end before I dive into the fun questions, um, what would you say is your most memorable moment in soccer?
Since I started playing. Definitely just winning the finals a few weeks ago, a month ago or so. That
Yeah.
was the most memorable moment for me because I've never experienced anything like that. And to get to that point in the span of 3 months, like that's insane to me. With girls I never met before that, this was a whole new team and a whole new coaching staff. I mean, and this was the first time I was away from home. I played in the summer league before, but it was closer to home. So I was 4 hours and I lived with a random girl. I mean, I met her the first night and we were like, hey. So it was a lot, and spending my birthday away from home,
Wow.
it was a lot. And I didn't see my family much. So just going through this with a new group of people in a new area, even with the men's team, because they were a part of this journey as well, and the staff at Tormenta. So all of this has been the biggest, like, I guess the best moment I've had playing the sport so far. So far.
Yeah. I mean, there's much more for you to achieve. And it's exciting. I mean, after this call, we're sharing your story on the podcast, which is really cool. This is why I love to do it, to share other professional players that are achieving amazing things like yourself on the podcast. Um, with saying that, I have 10 fun questions. They're speed questions. So you got to like ask them super fast.
Okay, I'm so bad at speed questions, but I'll try my best.
All right. Who is your favorite team? Wait, actually, sorry, before we dive into that, was there anything like I missed? Like, did you want to like add anything?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. I'm still thinking about that question because I don't want to say it. I don't want to embarrass myself, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Okay. Who's your favorite team?
Man, you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Lakers.
Who?
Tony Cruz,
Tony Cruz. What about female player?
female player. English. No, not English. Australian. Chelsea, maybe. What's her name? She's so good. Kerr.
Okay.
She's really good.
But what about your favorite cleats?
Cleats, Tiempos.
Favorite food?
Food. Street tacos.
Favorite artist musically?
Ooh, that's a. I have to say Kanye. Oh my gosh, what a choice.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi. Oh my gosh, terrible question.
Do you play FIFA?
Not much.
Okay. Would you rather score 2 goals in a game or 1 goal and 1 assist?
2 goals in a game. I'm selfish. If I was a forward.
Would you rather score a free kick or a PK, last minute goal to win your team the game?
Ooh, free kick. Oh my gosh, what a highlight.
And then the last one, if you are a coach and you were able to sub in any player in history to win you the game, who would it be?
If I was, excuse me, you have to repeat that question.
If you were a coach and you're able to sub in any player in history to win you a game, on the men's side, who would it be?
Ooh, Messi.
Messi. And what about on the female side?
Female side. You know what? I'm gonna do Tobin Heath because I like her. She's good with her feet.
What country is she from?
Tobin Heath, America.
Okay, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to say it, and I was wrong. So
Yeah, I know she's from America. I think yes.
Jhenesis, before we go, I just want to thank you for taking the time for joining us on the One Soccer Nation podcast today.
Of course, anytime.